I want to just invite you to notice that what's here in the most fundamental way, you could say just primal presence of what's here, really the basis of everything is completely full, that this is utterly full. In other words, um, there's no gaps, there's no holes. If you feel what's here, the feeling of what's here, the primal sense of this reality, the presence of it, which is all we're ever feeling. But generally, our attention is preoccupied with all the ways the presence seems to be in terms of all the elaborations and how the presence can shape itself and form itself, the presence of reality. But just feel just the sheer presence, the absolute being of this moment. And notice that you never, as you sort of explore the field of experience, the field of this moment that's here, the field of this presence that's here, you never come to some sort of like missing piece, like where all of a sudden you hit a gap that you run into, like, oh, wait a minute, where where is the presence? Where is this being? No, you just find being completely uninterrupted, presence uninterrupted, no gap anywhere, absolute completeness, absolute fullness. Just notice that. It's as if you just, again, I take this lightly because it's not really, there's no way to communicate this, of course, but this encounter, the engagement with reality, is one of contact with something we can't say what that contact is with. It's like life in contact with life, reality in contact with itself, being touching itself, experiencing itself. And it's always experiencing. You never hit a place of like where the contact is absent, where the fullness is somehow missing some piece. It's just fullness, the fullness of being. Feel that. No matter where consciousness may travel, what do you find? You find the fullness. What is it full of? It's full of this. It's full of reality. It's full of itself. This is full of itself in all the forms it can take, but it's always this. It's never lacking anything. Fundamentally never lacking anything. There's no missing piece to somehow fill up with something else, right? Like, here's this, it would be like, the puzzle of being or the puzzle of presence. It's like got a missing piece here or a missing piece there. And just need to find that piece to, replace the piece, fill that hole, fill that gap, fill that lack with the piece to make the picture complete, to make the puzzle complete of being, the puzzle of presence. No, there's no, there's no missing pieces. It's just absolutely already complete. The Tibetans call the Dzogchen tradition is sometimes described as the great completion. Like, this is complete. There's not something else to add to it to make it more complete, right? Which is how we tend to kind of think, well, there's something missing. And if I could just fill that missing piece, I've got a glass of water here, if it was, is as if like, it's got a little bit more water to fill the glass to make it full, right? Because here's the water, and then there's this missing part of the glass that doesn't have water in it. It's like, if I could just somehow fill it up, and then I would have a full glass of water. It's like the cup of reality is just overflowing with its fullness. There's nothing we could possibly pour into it to make this more full of life, more full of presence, more full of being, right? It's just absolutely full to the brim, so to speak. I mean, I'm just playing with this metaphor, but it's an apt one in many ways. You know, nothing's missing. We can experience in a human context things that we want and feel like we want to acquire those things or those experiences to sort of fill some sense of like, no, I want this, I want this particular experience. And that's happens as a function of living life, including like things like I'm lacking food, I'm lacking shelter, and I want those things. So we could talk about it in that human context as sure, there's things that could feel as if they're missing, and then we want those things as a function of, this human experience. But everything, even the sense in a human context of something not quite right or something missing, is itself the fullness of life. As strange as that may sound, everything is the fullness of life. Even our experience of confusion or misunderstanding or a sense of lack, even the sense that something is lacking is the fullness of life. There's just the fullness of life. Again, there's no, even though I will often describe what I'm sharing as a kind of an emptiness teaching in the context of Buddhist emptiness teachings, it's really the fullness of everything. Because this no thingness, this emptiness that can't be pinned down as being something specific and identifiable, that's its emptiness, right? For one thing, it's here for no time. Appears as this, the display. And the display is a display of this presence, this radiance, this astonishing, miraculous display of all of this. And it's lacking nothing in that sense. There's no more life that could be had. There's no more presence that could be placed on top of this somehow to fill some void, some lack of presence. It's just absolutely, right? You never run out of presence. You never encounter a lack of presence, right? When does that ever happen? It's not something that can be removed or added. It's just this is, and this is full beyond measure and never lacking in anything. And so that's the great completion. Like it's done, it's complete. Each moment is the fullness. Each dissolving moment is the fullness, as strange as that may sound. The overflowing fullness, overflowing with itself, this bounty, this endless, infinite bounty, with nothing ever lacking. Let yourself just move through the space of experience. Here's this vast, edgeless space of experiencing. And just anywhere you go in the space and whatever you might encounter or feel as if like, oh my God, I hit a blank space or something. You never hit a blank space. Do you just keep running into the presence of what is, the presence of life itself, the presence of this miracle of existence, of the bounty of existence. And in that sense, there's nothing to obtain in order for this to realize the fullness that we, shall we say, we seek as humans, the contentment that we fundamentally seek, the okayness, all of that is here in this fullness. It can't be taken away. Nothing detracts from or separates us from this fullness. The fullness of this. And something's here, right? Something's here. And there's no word to capture what this is that's here. But this that's here clearly has no place where it's not. It's never not here. Something's always here. There's no, in that sense, there's no void. There's no, because even when we touch the absolute no thingness of it, which I'm often emphasizing, strangely enough, that is this immeasurable fullness. It's always this fullness, this, even though you cannot put your finger on what that is, it's just bottomless. The ability to discern what it is doesn't exist. We cannot determine what this is, and in that sense, it's not a thing. And yet the felt sense is one of absolute richness beyond measure that never is lacking, never is absent. It's not something, we don't need to do anything to make this fullness be here. It's just here as each instant. Each momentary perception is the fullness in expression. No matter how we might be describing that momentary perception, even the difficult ones are the fullness, are the shine of this radiance. The light is on, and it's always on, and it's always brilliant, and it never is lacking, ever. The shine of what is. And so we can feel all of it as that shine of this radiance, this unspeakable fullness that has no ever, it never has any lack in it, any incompleteness. Every challenging thought, feeling, sensation that we might describe as difficult or unpleasant or is also the movement of this absolute, infinite, unimaginable, inconceivable fullness. They're all the sparkles, the fireworks display of reality. Nothing ever departs from that display. All of it is the display of this fullness, never lacking. You could feel might feel like a hole inside of you, or a pit, in your stomach, or a heart that feels shattered in some way, or a mind that feels just confused and at a loss. And what is that? That is life. That is the fullness, the wholeness, the splendor, strange as that may sound, of this radiating mystery, this reality. The dream of life is always full of itself, right? No matter how the dream looks, it is always itself, this singular reality that looks like a multiplicity and can be experienced as a multiplicity of people, places, and things, but is always this undivided whole, full beyond measure, complete always. Even as it is impossible to grasp hold of what it is. The fragrance of it is one of no lack, one of absolute fulfillment. Nothing missing from its all-inclusive reach, appearing as everything. That's its all-inclusive nature. This. And it can sometimes look like the challenging moments of life, the fullness, but it's always the fullness. Appearing as each instant, as appearing as each flash moment that's here for absolutely no time. And yet appears as the flow of time, strangely enough. I mean, how long is this instant here for? Already gone. Before we can even try to figure out if it's already gone, it's already gone. That's how fast it disappears. It disappears so quickly that it's never actually even here, and yet it appears as all of this that seems to be here, the richness of life, and in one sense is here as reality's dance, mysterious, miraculous, unfathomable display.